Joined by Seahawks cornerback Artie Burns, who joins us right now, and there is so much to talk about. You've got a new defensive coordinator, a new head coach, what feels like a brand new team. How's training camp feeling so far for you? Because you're not new to this. Does it feel new, different?
No, it's been going great. With a new coaching staff, new system and everything, it's been going real good.
Good.
Artie, man, we were laughing because we're like, oh, man, we got the veteran Artie, but in real life, you're like 28, 29 years old. You're just still a young man, but you got a lot of experience, and then you're coming out and you're balling this camp, man. Did you change anything, or what was your mentality coming into this one?
Just with the experience I had over the time, definitely changing stuff over the off season, training-wise. It definitely benefited me, during this camp, so you just keep getting better every day.
I have a genuine question. So I just learned, you guys I think have already been told this because the NFL warned teams. I just learned that the NFL was fining teams that have joint practices where there are fights.
Oh.
Right? Are you just learning from me that this is a thing? Okay.
Fights are a regular thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm asking you about this. Fights never mean anything, right? Like they're just something that happens. I don't understand why the NFL is doing this, and you don't have to critique the NFL, but just tell me a bit about when fights happen at camp, how that gets brushed off or what happens after. Have you ever been in one? What's that like?
I think the fights at training camp, just the way guys let guys know that, hey, I'm here.
Right.
I don't think it's nothing personal. Most times guys brush it off and, shake hands after that, but the fine is crazy.
$200,000.
Oh, that's crazy.
So you guys are going to
for the team?
So when you guys face the Titans, the NFL just did this to the Lions and Giants, where both teams got fined $200,000 because they had fights. So
that's sad.
I'm sure you guys will be warned next
It's
week.
inevitable. It's inevitable.
As long as they finding a team, not me.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Don't hit my pockets.
Artie's going to be like, I was over here.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I've seen the defense. Obviously, when you guys put on the pass, that's when y'all shine. A lot of people get excited when, the first few days of camp because the offense is catching. And I go, look, I'm a receiver. And I go, look, that DB can't touch me. They're not touching the quarterback. How does the mentality change for a defense once those passes come on?
It's all out aggression. When we in T-shirts and shorts, you kind of lay off the point of contact with the balls and stuff like that. But when the pass get on, you protect it a little bit more. So now it's all every dog for themselves.
What's it like when because I was telling my buddy the other day, I go, offensive guys got to set the tone a bit when it comes to third session, because if I dip that shoulder a little bit and the DB's giving me a chance, there's going to be some problems. How do you guys set the tone? Is there a conversation that's had? Look, man, hey, there's one. Don't do that again. There's going to be some problems out here.
As a defender, you got to set the tone from the moment you step on the field. We start with the jar jacking, with the trash talking, everything like that. And then once we get into the lines and everything like that, you just want to go and set that tempo. Start with the front. Those big guys up front, once they start moving around, and then it leads over to the back end.
Is there an art to trash talking?
It depends on who you going against. You try to pull out some personal stuff, or you just go for general stuff,
Are you someone that does research? You're like, I'm going to go find out,
Nah, I'm all general. I'm finna go at anybody with the same. I may use the same line on you that I used on him. So.
Right. First preseason game. I would assume, being a veteran, you're going to get some reps, but probably not as much as the young guys. Is there any type of advice that you give these young dudes to prepare for a preseason game?
Just one snap at a time. Give it your best effort. Because it is your resume. Your film is your resume, and they doing a good job of putting it on tape and practice every day. Stacking those good days, and I think they're gonna do good at the first preseason game and throughout the whole preseason.
We earlier in the show were talking about just what's changed in the NFL since the Seahawks were last in the Super Bowl, and we were talking about why the Seahawks just basically haven't gotten back to one. And there was a listener who said, "Hey, I think it could be the rules against defenses just make it tougher to play elite defense." How do you find that defenses, in your experience, are adjusting? Do you find that it's harder to play, or do you just tell yourself, this is how I have to win now, this is what I got to do? How do you feel when you're out there?
I think the rule changes made it much better. I don't think it's that much of a difference. It just, we got to be more technical now. And I think being more technical made the game much more faster and much more better, Back then, everybody just come in, blow to the head. Now you got to have a correct posture, and you may get the ball out,
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was playing, they told us to stick your face in there and lead with your head.
Stick it in the fan.
That's how you were trained?
Hey, for real. And they pull you off the field if you ain't doing it. They're like, nah, man, we need someone who ain't scared. But
wow.
It's different now, man. With you being a veteran, Are you still adding things to your game at this point, or are you just kind of just fine-tuning what you already got?
I definitely want to get better as the game goes along. Each year the game expands to get better. So each year I try to add something into my game through the off season, or I check back with my coaches and see what can help me evolve, and then they give me a little input, and I try to work on that in the off season. Always got to get better, man.
Yeah. I remember hearing from John Schneider that there were a couple players that had asked about Baltimore's defensive coordinator after you guys, after this team played the Ravens. Have you ever left a game and thought, who is that coordinator? Like, how often does that actually happen? Yeah,
we played Baltimore last year. I think everybody on the sideline was kind of like in a shock of way, like in shock because the aggression they had, the swag they had, and just the whole scheme was just was good, and it's translating over here to Seattle. So I'm super excited to see how it works in the game, where we can actually hit the quarterback, have an effect on the quarterback, and everything. How the trickle effect happens.
One of the guys I was interested in seeing is Chinna Nwosu, because I feel like when you guys lost him last year, obviously you lost something. I love his aggression and intensity that he plays with. You being in the secondary, you get to see that box kind of go to work. Are you seeing that aggression a bit that you felt with Baltimore last year?
Yeah, most definitely. And back on Chinna, when Chinna got hurt, I told him, man, we miss you. Yeah. We miss you. Chinna is definitely a big part of the defense, setting the edge. And this defense, man, the D-line, let them guys hunt the movements and the stunts that they can have, and then bringing in the young guys, B. Murph, and the rest of those guys, they gonna find their space and get some good work in.
Tell us a bit about what you've seen from the defensive line. I know you're working with the secondary, obviously, but you've got your head forward. You're looking at the defense as a whole. As a veteran now, you're paying attention to this stuff too.
Correct,
How do they look?
They look great. Like I said, the stunts, the movements, the aggression, and then Coach Mike got to hold them back sometimes. In the period, he got to say, hey guys, work the initial movement and then back off, because they're getting so close to the quarterback. We got to save, we got to protect everybody.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
What's the language been like? Because people talk about Mike Macdonald in the defense and how he teaches it. End of the day, football's football. Like, a coach might say something in Baltimore and say it in Seattle. It means the same thing, but the language is different. Was it tough to pick up on the language, or is it a bit similar to what you're used to?
Football got some common language, but it's definitely a brand new language. It's super fresh. It also helps us to understand how the offense think, the way Mike Macdonald, classify everything, and break down everything. It broaden your mindset and your horizon,
Tell us a bit about your own off season. You get into anything? You go see family? Any developments in the personal life? Tell us a bit about how you spent this year.
Well, during my off season, I have a mentoring program, a track and field mentoring program in all sports. Of 15 to 20 kids. They actually did real good this year. We had 5 kids go out to nationals during Olympics in Texas.
Wow.
At Texas A&M, yep.
Dang.
And we got 2 podium medals at that event. The first time in my program, the track and field, we got 2 podiums. So that's I was super happy for that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Olympics you've been watching?
Oh, yeah.
What's been your favorite part so far?
I'm looking forward to today to see is it today the 200? Is the 200 today?
Wednesday? Yeah, today. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see Noah Lyles and Aaron Knight in gold. Yep. We had Gabby yesterday. Yep. She did a thing yesterday.
Crushed it.
And then the 400 and 4x4. That's what I'm looking forward to, man. Get to see those guys.
It's natural, Florida boy, right? You're all about that speed.
1, 2, 4. Yeah, you're right there.
Is that what you could do? Like, if you were like, hey, you got to represent the U.S. in the Olympics. We're sending you there. Congratulations.
Right.
Pick your sport. You go in track and field?
Correct. A lot of people don't know I was actually real good at track and field. Like, I was a dominant, I won't say I was dominant, but I was real good at track. I did some nationals in college and stuff like that, but I definitely do track again. I love
that's
that.
very believable. This great cornerback. Like, you're telling me he was great at track and field?
Yeah, I love track, yeah.
What I love about the Olympics, other than track and field, 'cause that's my favorite, is watching stuff that I normally don't watch. Man, I fell in love with field hockey. Just the aggression that they playing with, and you kind of see the spacing and all that. Is there a sport that you kind of been like, all right, I respect that?
Water polo.
Yeah.
I seen somebody get dragged on the water, and I was like, bro, I ought to be needing a lifeguard to help me or something. We'll be fighting and something going crazy, because the balance and the stamina they have to go, like 10-minute quarters.
Yeah.
swimming back and forth, somebody on your neck and pulling you down. It's real tough.
And then you become an expert on it, too. You watch for 10 minutes, and pretty soon you're like, no, he can't do that because that's a violation.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Just, I'm throwing a flag.
I'm Googling rules and stuff. Like, I want to understand exactly what I'm looking at. You know what I mean?
Nah, most definitely. Yeah, that's water polo was definitely a tough sport I watched.
All right, he is Seahawks corner Artie Burns. You got practice in about 30 minutes, so we're going to let you go. You guys got to get out there. We appreciate your time, though. Thank you.
Man.
Appreciate you guys.